Okay, welcome everyone to our Plant Strong Monday night call. We're so excited to talk to you guys about the Shred 10. I have done like probably 25 or 30 shreds over the last 2+ years, and I've had all kinds of experiences with it. I've led shreds. I have shredded before I had kids. I shredded during pregnancy. I've shredded postpartum. And so I feel like I have like most aspects of the shred. So tonight I'm going to share a little bit about my perspective of doing the shred and helping coach other people through the shred. And Nicole Fischer on our team, her team is doing an awesome job right now leading the current shred for September. And so she's done a lot of like reflection on the shred program and gone back and kind of did the homework of like what's working with the shred, what are we doing that's making it better, and what do people like. And so I've asked her to come on and share with you guys a little bit about her experience right now leading the shred, kind of what led up to that, and just some of the things she figured out that are working and that are going to make it better for our future shredders. And so we always want to be learning and growing and providing the best resources and tools and ideas for our shredders and for our customers in general. And so I really have been impressed with all of the teams who have recently stepped up to lead the shred. And so this call is really just a culmination of a lot of people adding value and adding creative ideas. And so if you ever have an idea about the shred or something that you would like to see added to it, please feel free to come to us and let us know, because we want to continue to make it better. So now I'm going to turn it over to Nicole Fischer, who's my fellow Texan now, and she's going to talk to you guys about what her team's been doing and what's working, and then I'll take it over at the end. So Nicole.
Awesome. Well, hi everybody. Assuming you can hear me okay. So yes, the shred. The shred has been probably the hardest thing for me to embrace, honestly. It has been about a 2-year process of me going back and forth. Do I want to do this? Do I not? And really, it's just a self-discipline issue within myself. And so whenever Michelle said that she needed some leaders to step up and lead the previews and the shred, I said, okay, I'm going to do this because it's going to challenge me to get in there and really figure out what's my resistance and how can I work through this. And so I did choose a date that worked well for me, not being right in school. So that's helpful too, having some time to prepare. But yeah, I loved, our past shred previews have been awesome. Our past shred groups, they've all been great. But I think there's something really important about just putting your own authentic spin on something. Verbiage, your language, kind of what your common theme is. And so as I was preparing for the shred preview first, I probably spent the most time on the preview because I really wanted to
Is she frozen for other people or just me? Oh, Nicole, you're frozen. Let's see here. I don't know if it's my computer or hers.
You're not frozen.
Oh, okay.
You're clear.
Nicole? Let me text her. She'll probably be back here in a second. Let's see if we get her back here. I know Travis was on. Maybe they're just going to switch. So much good stuff to learn. Okay, I think she might just be getting off and getting back on. So while she's out, I wanted to let you guys know that Casey's team is going to be leading the next shred and the next shred preview for October. So the tentative dates for the next shred preview are going to be September 26th and 27th. So that's kind of when they're going to be adding the content, adding value. And for the shred preview, as Nicole's going to share a little bit more, we have people share their life story. So if you've done your first shred or done your 27th shred and you have a story to tell and you want to share your story, because we know that our customers and our prospects want to hear our story. They know us. And so if you want to share your story, you can get in contact with Casey and she can get you on the sign up to share your story as part of the shred preview. And the October shred is going to be October 8th through the 17th. So put that in your calendar. And Casey, when are we wanting people to order by?
We're going to do like a little PDF, special PDF, or some type of free value giveaway for anyone that orders by September 30th, since Fall Father's Day is October 1st.
Okay.
And then I would say, you know, if they're for sure wanting to do the shred at the latest by October 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, if you live on the West Coast, it takes longer. But if you're like Central or East Coast, it's usually like 3 to 5 days to get your stuff. So you guys got those dates. I see Nicole back. Nicole, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm on my phone now, so I'm not going to be able to screen share, which is a bummer.
Okay.
Maybe,
Do you want me to screen share? Do you have something you can?
well, I think if you just go screen share, go to the shred preview, the past shred preview.
Okay. So you can start talking, and I'll pull it up, the shred and the current shred.
Okay, perfect. So
Nicole,
what I was saying.
Can you put headphones on?
Yeah, I definitely can. Hold on.
Her phone just does that, Casey.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties here. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so what I was saying with the preview is that, you know, I just wanted to make it authentic to myself, right? So something that I would be comfortable posting about, like in my own verbiage, not because my way is better, just simply because
I think you're frozen again, Nicole. Is your phone on your Wi-Fi? Maybe you should turn the Wi-Fi off on your phone and just use your cell. Sorry, guys. We'll get this figured out. I'm pulling up the past shred preview so you guys can see it. Okay, let's see here.
Michelle, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Basically what I did is I went through and I looked at all the old detox previews and tried to figure out what posts were really effective, what posts that I felt like were maybe really effective images, that the verbiage was too long, because I know personally when I'm scrolling through something, I don't have time to read, 3 paragraphs worth of stuff. And so if I'm not going to read it, I'm not going to ask somebody else to read it. And so I just pulled the things that were really interesting and kind of a common theme between each of those previews. And then I just, I saved the verbiage, saved the pictures. And then the story that I really wanted to tell was, I broke it down like this. I wanted to figure out, why did we need to detox? How do we detox safely and effectively? What do we use to detox? We use, offering our products. What does a typical day look like for someone on the shred? And that's when I went on and I did that live post at like 6:30 in the morning, making a smoothie, because I wanted somebody to know what they were going to have for breakfast. I mean, what that was going to look like. And then which was like our shred guide and all of their cookbooks and recipes, and then all the way through the order options. And then we had interwoven stories, live stories all throughout, right? So I had teammates share. I had, I asked Jesse to share because we wanted a man's perspective because I knew there were men coming. And so just trying to tell that story in the shred preview. Michelle, if you want to go ahead and pull up the screen of the shred preview go to the very beginning of it. And then what I loved, what Jenny's team had implemented, which I loved, was the live videos of doing the tips and tricks and swaps and hacks. And I thought that was just so personal that I wanted to incorporate more live videos and hours. And so with the shred preview, I just started by doing a live video in the very, very beginning about what to expect from this group, how to use the group. That it's personal, that it's small, that we want to be asking questions. And Yep. So like from there, we're just going to scroll up. So I did this, kind of like what this looks like. And then right away, we did the video of the breakdown, just a really small recap from that. And then from that one video, I went into breaking down that story of, why do we need to detox? And here's our toxins from the environment, what it used to look like, how things have changed. There's my my teammate Becky sharing her shred story, which I'll share with you in a minute more about engaging your team. But then we started talking about like chemicals in your environment and in your food. Like, what does that look like on a daily basis? That's more about why do we need to detox? Go ahead and keep scrolling up. Again, more personal stories interwoven, like what are antioxidants? Why do you even need antioxidants? How's that going to affect? So you kind of see the flow of how we started to do this. I don't feel like there was too much information in this preview, but I feel like I try to make every post, like we all do. We try to make it simple, concise, and then we threw in the omega posts because obviously omegas are important for people who aren't getting them, and it's very efficient in detoxing as well. So Caitlin did an awesome live interview or live post about what is Juice Plus, and she covered the capsules and the complete. And I thought that was really helpful for somebody who maybe prefers to watch rather than to listen. And I thought she did a really great job. So just hang out there for a second, Michelle. And talking about teammates too. So this wasn't just an all me effort. Part of the reason I wanted to lead the shred preview and the shred is to get my team involved, because as you know, your team follows what you do. They don't necessarily follow you. They're putting their own authentic spin on their business. But if you're leading them in a certain way, doing certain activities, they're going to follow. Well, here's what I noticed is that I wasn't really a big fan of the shred, and I didn't really have very many teammates that were super big fans of using the shred in their business. Now, they might be fans of it personally, but just they weren't implementing the benefit of it. And so, for instance, Terry Ann, who's on here, she was somebody who liked the shred, had great results with the shred, and plugging her into the shred was a way that she could really engage more prospects. I mean, as soon as she realized like the shred is a great business tool for her, I think she invited like 18 people to the shred preview in one day. So, interestingly enough, Michelle had posted about the shred preview and some shred results. And one of my teammates who was just a member user posted on Michelle's post, like, oh, I want to do the shred this time. And Michelle's like, great, Nicole, well, can you get her set up? So I hadn't even been using the shred preview or the shred events to post on my own personal page. So again, this was just more of a way to get me more interactive and engaged in this process as well. So can you go to the actual shred page, shred support page now, Michelle? So in the shred, so basically with the shred preview, hopefully if you were a part of it, you kind of saw that theme, that story that was running through. And of course, whenever you step up to do your shred preview, you're going to change the verbiage and make it authentic to who you are. Like for me, I'm kind of a connector and an encourager, and I like to connect people with each other, and I like to connect with people. So that's a lot of where I was coming from with this. With the Shred event, being more of a group effort in terms of there's lots of people that have a lot of different shredders that have done this before and they're coming back. I wanted to take, again, some of what Jenny's team had done in implementing the live videos. And then Michelle had a great idea about doing a prep week. And so the prep week was thrown together kind of last minute, but I think that it went really well. And so if you go down to the very bottom of that Shred group, you'll notice that one of the first things that we did was we took a poll. And we just wanted to hear, like, what are your reasons for joining the Shred group? Kind of just for everyone who is a rep and they have a customer in the Shred to pay attention to their customer. Like, what are their goals with this? And so we took a quick poll, and we had a really great turnout, I think. There's a lot of posts in this Shred group, so it's way at the bottom. But the other thing that we did excuse me, was we did a live Q&A. I interviewed Michelle. And this was talking about all of the questions that you may have or that a brand new shredder might have that might be too afraid to ask. And so we wanted to cover, what would a typical meal look like? Why do you eliminate certain things? And I tried to make it more of like a conversational type Q&A. And so far, I would say that the feedback we've gotten is that Q&A, post was really helpful. And so I've seen a lot of engagement in this particular Shred group, and it's been pretty fun. They've all been really active. I feel like overall, one of the things that people typically will post about is their recipes, their food for the day, whether it be smoothie or their dinner or their lunch or whatever.
There's a lot of engagement. I'm still scrolling.
There's a lot. Sorry, there is a lot of engagement.
Oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
I know. So there's our cute. So I did just some Shred frequently asked questions, and then I brought Michelle on and we interviewed Michelle, and I think it went really well. And I think that it's really fun to see a live interview. So I think Casey's team is hosting the next Shred preview in the next group. And it would be really fun to see this done again, because different answers, different ways of questioning, you just get to know people better and you learn more. So there's the poll that we did. And, a lot of people voted. I mean, some people voted on multiple things, but it was fun to see, like, who's in this just for the recipes, who's in this to maybe change their physical shape, who wants to gain more clarity or whatever. So if you go ahead and scroll it, Michelle.
Yeah, I wanted to point out something. This is a good indicator of what we need to promote. Obviously we don't just say Juice Plus or the Shred is a weight loss thing, but this is what's going to draw people in: energy, losing, getting healthier by, getting fit, losing some weight, learning new recipes. So you can take every Shred, if we do something like this, that's going to clue you in to what your prospects are looking for. Mm-hmm. Okay, where
absolutely. Just go up to that interview so that if we have some new team on here, maybe they haven't plugged in yet. So that at first it's just me and I'm trying to figure out how to bring Michelle on, but eventually that screen will split. And I seem to always kind of get stuck with that beginning interview. That's a little bit more challenging. But anyway, so we bring Michelle on and then scroll up a little bit more. And then, so here's the areas that I asked my teammates to be involved. And I kind of asked them, where do they feel like they want to fit in to the posting? So things that I would have liked to have seen in there were tips and tricks for families and kids to be shredding. So Caitlin did, all of her posts tend to be more related to how can you get shred-friendly snacks into your kids when you're shredding yourself type of a theme. And then we wanted exercise. So I really wanted to utilize some of the Healthy Living Revolution workout series. And Terry Ann took over the exercise as well as tips with shredding when traveling. And then encouragement. Anya's taken over encouragement. And there's Laurel. And she's really great at meal prepping on her own. And so she kind of took over some tips on just meal prepping for the week for shreds. And so she did a couple of live posts, and then the shred just got started. And whenever the shred gets started, it kind of has this life of its own, which is really fun to see. I feel like everyone on the team has been kind of active, putting different posts in. What we're going to do here at the end, and this is kind of how I see this shred group wrapping up, is I would really like for all of us to be, kind of thinking about the people that we have in the shred group. How can we be talking to them about getting referrals, people maybe they want to invite into the shred? Because if they have referrals, that's an easy HLP for a teammate. Mm-hmm. So come tomorrow and the next day, I'm going to be creating some posts here, just kind of wrapping up the shred. Like, what benefits are you noticing? I feel like towards the end of the shred, we've always gotten great results with people posting kind of their after pictures, but breaking it down even further, I want to get people thinking about what are they feeling internally? What are they noticing, brain fog, energy? The external results are always usually really great because, when you're changing your eating, you're always seeing those benefits. But we're going to start adding some posts in about just, talking about who in your life could benefit from these recipes, from this community, from the support, from, the simplicity of being a part of this group. And so I'm excited to kind of see the feedback of how that turns out. I feel like we had a really good turnout. The other thing that I really liked was doing in the very beginning, you don't have to scroll down, but at the very beginning, we did a separate post about the shred guide. And I feel like kind of the resources that we have here might be a little bit underused or almost undervalued. I feel like in the shred groups, the more that we can keep pointing people back to the shred cooking guide or back to the tracker forms or back to the, even just understanding the shred guide, I feel like they're going to see more of the value of the community that we have. It's always great to bring in other resources, from outside of the shred, but they've done so much of it for us. And so a lot of times when somebody's asking about a recipe, like, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, have you looked at the family-friendly recipes in our shred guide? Just kind of pointing them back to that resource that they already have in their hands. And so that is, how we're planning on wrapping up this shred. And quite honestly, it's been a big growth process. It's been really fun. It's been, I feel like my team has really stepped up and they've been really creative and great with their posts. And so it's just a really awesome way to just continue to build leaders on our team. And so it's been a real honor and privilege to be able to run this. And, at the same time, you learn things that maybe didn't go quite so well and you learn for the next one. So it's just this constant evolving process and it's been really great.
Awesome.
So, so the last thing that I wanted to say about this was, obviously leading authentically and whenever you're taking over leadership of a group is really important. But some of the things that I've heard is that, my experience with the shred hasn't necessarily been that great. And so they don't invite people into the shred. And really what I've been thinking about and experienced myself is that somebody out there that needs the benefits that this program offers. So it's not necessarily about what our personal experience has been. It's that we see the science. We know that this works. We know this changes people's health. And if we can just put our own experience aside, if it hasn't been as fantastic as maybe we thought it was going to be, and step into really looking at who really needs this, who could benefit from this community and from the just from the nutrition itself, I think that we could make these groups even larger.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I would challenge, anyone, if they don't think they have a good shred experience, to see were they following all the guidelines, really consistently. And some people, it takes multiple shreds to see results. If you have less areas, physically or outwardly that need to change, then or you already have energy, you know what I mean? Like it might take longer to see some of the, surprise benefits of the shred. But if you keep participating and leading by example, you're going to have positive benefits from detoxing. There's no question. So I know for me, it took several shreds and, I kept doing it for a year, and over a year, I lost 10 pounds, and I wasn't trying to lose 10 pounds. I was trying to just eat really clean, and I would lose like 1 or 2 pounds. And then the next time, no pounds. And then the next time 1 or 2. And it just was like slowly but surely the consistency, really got me to where I wanted to be. And so I'm going to try to wrap up really quickly. I have a lot to share briefly. And so thank you, Nicole, for all that great wisdom. And thank you to your team for leading an awesome shred. Obviously, we saw all the engagement, and that's what we want. We want people being involved. And I would say if I'm going into like best practices for customer care for the shred, and ultimately you have to be the best shredder, right? If you want to lead successful shredders, you have to do the shred and you have to follow it to the best of your ability. And of course we all, have times where, we might not do it 100%, or we may not get to eat perfectly because we have an anniversary or we're at a church function, or, things happen. But ultimately you want to be your best shredder, and you want to show them, you want to post on the shred page so that your customers will post. You want to be posting on your own social media about it so that they can comment and start to really engage and feel like you're in it with them, because, you want your coach, your shred coach, to be in the thick of it. When my customers are saying, oh, I really want to do a glass of wine this weekend, I'm like, girl, me too, and so they feel like I'm sacrificing too. And so it makes it more, they want to listen to me more. And so I wanted to start by saying your shred customers are your fastest team potential. And we've seen this over the last few years that we've been doing the shred, because people jump into the shred and they make all these other lifestyle changes along with Juice Plus. They have the fastest results. And when people have results, they ultimately are going to, I'm going to stop screen share. I'm going to share it again in a second, but they ultimately are going to want to share it with other people. When people see changes, they're going to be shouting it from the rooftops. They're going to be telling their neighbor, their mom, their cousin. So we have to take care of them and help them have the best experience in order to create raving fans or teammates, because some people are not going to join our team, and that's just a fact. They're just going to be a raving fan, and they're going to refer people, and they're going to get you shredders. I mean, I have people who over the years, they send me customers, and I always offer the business, but it's not, they're not seeing the opportunity right now. And so I happily take on those customers, and then other people get to, see the value of sharing and covering their cost or offsetting their cost of shredding. And so it gets, it's a great way to expand your team pretty quickly if every month you have new shredders, because if you have maybe 5 to 10 shredders, you're going to probably find at least 1 or 2 that wants to do the business at some level, whether it's just HLP or beyond. And so a couple steps to success to help you get to where you want to be with being good at shred customer care. Number 1 is learn the shred system. And so I'm going to show you guys where to find our shred guide for reps. It's a system that we have. Everything is mapped out. You could be like first grade level, learner and be able to do the shred customer care because it's so simple. So let me share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to, do you guys see the Healthy Living Revolution? Okay, so this is the page that has the access to the resources. You're going to scroll all the way down. You're going to click the white circle at the bottom. And the password is Revolution. I've already put it in, but it'll ask you for the password. It's Revolution, lowercase. And you're going to go to Shred 10. And from here, you can download these resources. So you have the system, which is what we're going to talk about, the shred guide for our customers, the cooking guide, that's for customers. So I already pulled this up, the shred system guide. And so I just want to show you, it's 28 pages. But if you will learn this, you will be an excellent shred customer supporter. You'll be great at getting shredders, and you will do great at helping them transition into raving fan or team. And so this system has a rhythm. It's running the Shred 10 the beginning of the month, mid-month following up and adding some of them as your team members, and then the end of the month is promoting the next shred. So they have a journey where basically you're sharing the shred, you're sharing stories, that's like our shred preview, you're following up, you're getting their order, and then you're educating them. And we're like, kind of like Nicole said, we had the prep week, we're at the shred preview, we're educating them. And then you're going to add them to our Facebook event, and then you're going to do customer care throughout their shred journey. But I'm not going to go through all of this because we've done it on a previous call, but they give you messages to send out to get people interested in the shred, an example calendar of when you should promote the shred, a planner for who you're going to invite, questions. So if people ask, questions you can ask to get people more interested in the shred. And then stories, how to share your shred story, how to expand your market, what to say if people ask questions. People say, I'm interested, I need more information. It tells you exactly what you can say and what video you can send them, which is amazing. And then there's packages for ordering. And then there's information for the shred event group. But then what I want to show you guys, excellent customer care. This is what my main focus is, page 23. So it's talking about how to get involved with your shredders, and it gives you daily sample text messages that you can use. I just do it on a whim now because I've done it so long. It's so easy for me because I'm doing the shred and I'm like, okay, what am I thinking about? It's day 3. I may have some detox symptoms. So I'm going to be asking my customers if they're having detoxing symptoms, or if it's day 1, I'm going to make sure I weighed and measured. I'm going to ask them if they weighed and they measured. So you can kind of do it without this, but this is, if you're just kind of starting out, it's a great template to use, and it tells you day by day. And this has morning, midday, and evening. Some people may think that's too much. I usually text them once or twice a day, and I let them know in advance. And that's one of the important things, is making sure they know in advance that you're going to be contacting them on a daily basis throughout the 10 days and even the weekend before, to make sure they're getting everything squared away. So I'm not going to go through any more of this, but I just want you guys to know it's there. I'm going to show you what I do with my shredders. So I send over all my shredders an email. It's called Shred 10 Detox Meal Plans, Cookbook, and More. And so every time I get a new shredder, I send them this email. I text with them or I Facebook message, and I say, hey, I'm going to send you the resources. We saw in Nicole's event that the resources are in the shred event for them to download. But I found that people overlook that. And so I want to go the extra mile and make sure that they see the resources and use them, because they're going to have a better shred experience. And so I send them this and I say, we're starting on September 10th. I remind them. And then I say, starting Sunday, I will be checking in daily to support you. And I ask them, what is the best way for me to contact you? And so they usually respond and tell me. And then I ask them to watch this shred intro. It's like a 20-minute video about detoxing. I give them these shred trackers. It tracks like their daily shred guidelines and then their results, which is really important. And then I give them these additional resources, all attached here. And I make sure that they have this shred guide. I also text all my shredders this picture so that they can save it on their phone, so they can always quickly refer back to it and know, what am I not supposed to do now? What am I supposed to be eating? And they have that on hand. So going the extra mile, adding value makes a huge difference. And then when you tell them you're going to check in with them daily, you need to follow through and actually check in with them daily. So I'm going to stop my share here. The next thing is, what I love to do is, if it's a first-time shredder, I do a pre-shred call with them. If they're brand new, they just ordered Juice Plus, they've never done the shred, I do a call with them and I say, okay, what are your, what are your goals for the shred? What are you planning? What meals do you have in mind? Have you seen the resources? Did you get to look at my email? Do you want me to text you? Is there a time of day that's better? And I just get to know them and make sure they're really comfortable and ready. And typically on that call, I will try to schedule a post-shred call so that by day 11 or 12 or 10, I can get on the phone with them and go through their results, why it's very fresh in their mind. And if you don't get the chance to set that up on the pre-call, you need to start doing that by day 8 or 9. You don't want to wait till day 10 to try to set up that post-call, because you want it to be really close to when they finish their shred. And then what I use is the shred profile to do the follow-up call. And I will share the screen and show you guys that. It's also available under those resources on the Healthy Living Revolution as well. So this is what it looks like. And you can use this for the pre-call as well, like what products they have, their name, why did they start it? And I go over it with them, like, these are the things you wanted to see change in with your shred. Which, did any of these start to happen? Maybe they're not all realistic to happen in 10 days, and I let them know that. And then I go through the Shred 10 experience And I say, you know, over the last 10 days, have you been drinking more water, eating more fruits and vegetables, and see an improvement in your sleep? And I go through all of these because there's so many times someone may not lose weight, but maybe their sleep is amazing, you know? And if I just asked them about weight loss in inches, they might feel like it's a failure. And so it's really important to go through all of these different things so that they can see the positive changes their body's having from detoxing. And so that's available for you guys to use as well. And then once I get their results from that kind of survey or that call, or if it's a long-time shredder, I just text with them and message with them about it. Then I ask for results. I asked if they've talked to anyone about their shred experience. Like, have you shared with anyone that you're shredding? What do they think? Has anyone asked you about it? Then I ask, I ask them if they know anyone who needs to know about the shred. Does anyone also need to sleep better or feel better or whatever? And so once I get this information, then I find a way that's comfortable for them to share this information. So a couple ideas for you guys. Number one, you can ask them to do a Facebook or Instagram post and tag you with their results. Some people are comfortable with the before and after picture. Some people are comfortable making a little collage or image with some of the changes, like, lost 2 inches, gained a ton of energy. They just type it out or write it down and take a picture. You can invite them to the shred preview that's coming up and ask them to invite, their prospects. You can, their friends, invite their friends. You wouldn't say prospects to them. You can host a Facebook event, and that's a private event for them. So you can say, hey, why don't we do a special educational event on the shred for your friends? You can host a taste of the shred in their house and say, hey, why don't we invite some friends over and make some shred meals and see if they're interested, or we can do a meal prep for them. You can ask them to post their results. I did this recently. I said, hey, would it be okay if I shared your results and tagged you? And some people are better, with you sharing their results than themselves. And then the last is help them share one-on-one with friends and family. So if they said, I'm not really comfortable doing the Facebook thing, but I'd love to tell my mom about it. What can I send her? And so you can just help them with those one-on-one conversations. So I'm going to stop there. We went a little bit over, but I hope that that's helpful for you guys and that you feel like you can go into leading a shred or coaching someone through the shred and feel like you're prepared and you have the tools. So we're going to get off here in a minute. Does anyone have a question that popped up? We'll take like a minute or two for a quick Q&A. If anyone has anything, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, we will get on with it. Clear as mud. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys all for being a part of our team call, and I look forward to finishing the shred strong with you guys and hoping to have an even larger group join us in October. Thanks, everyone. Bye.